Good evening. A fast-moving fire destroyed a trailer home in Zanesville and took the lives of several pets. The fire broke out just before 11 a.m. at a trailer on Green Street. According to Zanesville Assistant Fire Chief Doug Hobson, the trailer was fully engulfed in flames when crews arrived on scene. He says one teenager was home at the time of the fire and tried to remove several dogs that were inside.
He did suffer some minor burns to his hand, was treated here by community ambulance, Genesis Community Ambulance. We did front load the scene with ambulances just because of it being fully involved. We didn't know how many people were there at the time. So we did front load the scene with squads. Unfortunately, we did lose, it appears, 2 adult dogs and 8 puppies that were deceased in the fire.
Hobson says the trailer, which was home to a family of 4, is considered a total loss.
The Zanesville police is investigating a possible murder-suicide that occurred this morning on Pine Street. Zanesville police said they were called to the home around 7:50 a.m. where they found 27-year-old Brittany Dobbs and 41-year-old Wesley Sanders, both deceased.
Through our investigation, we learned that both adults had died from apparent gunshots, and it appears right now that the male had apparently shot the female and himself.
Chief Curry says that there were other people living in the residence who made the night.
Good evening. A gas leak caused road and business closures on U.S. Route 40 just east of Zanesville earlier today. Fire officials on the scene say a construction worker hit a gas line with a backhoe at the new Burger King that's being built near the intersection of U.S. 40 and Airport Road.
We received the call for a gas leak in the area of the Best Western. Our crews arrived on scene. We found a large plume of white vapor, basically audible leak. The believed cause is they were digging with a track hoe, and I believe they just struck a gas line underneath.
Beatty says roads and businesses in the area were temporarily closed and guests inside the Best Western.
The Masonic Temple demolition in downtown Zanesville officially began last night. The Maple Leaf Demolition Company started around 7 p.m. yesterday and then finished up around 2:30 in the morning. Doug Hobson, the Assistant Chief of Zanesville Fire Department, explained how the company got started with the process.
We started right at 7 o'clock last night. We were able to put the high lift excavator in the air, and everything has gone really great. Everything that we expected to happen of pushing the building in on itself, everything has gone really smooth. We've protected the jail, we've protected the computer image building, which is one of the big things that we were, making sure that is done.
There were many residents.
Good evening. Local health officials say they're seeing a new surge in COVID-19 cases and are urging residents in Muskingum County to get the available vaccines. The Zanesville-Muskingum County Health Department's medical director, Dr. Jack Butterfield, says 53% of the community is vaccinated. He says the community should be in the 80% range, which can make the chances of encountering the virus less likely.
Everyone who is eligible for a vaccine can do themselves a good favor by getting the vaccine. I did show today the numbers that show that overwhelmingly you are more likely to be hospitalized and die of COVID-19 if you're unvaccinated than vaccinated. Like 94% of the people in that situation are unvaccinated.
Dr. Butterfield says the new surge is most likely
Coming up on WHIZ News at 7, a new cross-country mortgage branch is officially open in town, plus a local VFW post is adding new entertainment and support for their members and local charities, and a new Zanesville City calendar is available for the community. Coming up on WHIZ News at 7, Zanesville JC's fireworks show will be taken off later tonight, plus Thornville conducted a parade in honor of the 4th of July holiday, and residents of the area also talked about the meaning of Independence Day. Coming up on WHIZ News at 7, State Senator Tim Schaefer visits Zanesville to discuss the capital budget, plus the American Red Cross blood drive is underway, and the Zanesville Fire Department is informing residents on fireworks safety for the holiday weekend. Good evening and thanks for joining us for WHIZ News at 7. I'm Kailan Martin. We'll have the details on those stories, but right now meteorologist Anthony Codaspody has the first look at the forecast.
The Supreme Court has ended constitutional protections for abortion that had been in place nearly 50 years, a decision by its conservative majority to overturn the court's landmark abortion cases. Today's outcome, overturning Roe versus Wade, is expected to lead to abortion bans in roughly half the states. The decision, unthinkable just a few years ago, was the culmination of decades of efforts by abortion opponents, made possible by an emboldened right side of the court that has been fortified by 3 appointees of former President Donald Trump. The ruling came more than a month after the stunning leak of a draft opinion by Justice Samuel Alito. The State Highway Patrol is investigating a fatal 2-vehicle accident near Gaysport. It happened just before 8 this morning near the 8200 block of Old River Road. Lieutenant Russell Pascaletti with the Zanesville Post says 62-year-old Charles Wheeler of Blue Rock was driving his pickup truck northbound on Old River Road when it collided head-on with an ambulance with the Malta and McConnellsville Fire Department that was headed south. Authorities say Wheeler was pronounced dead at the scene. A passenger in the truck was transported to the hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. The State Patrol says 2 paramedics who were inside the ambulance sustained minor injuries. There were no patients inside the ambulance at the time of the accident. The cause of the crash is still under investigation. The Muskingum County Sheriff's Office needs your assistance locating 9 of their most wanted suspects. They include Eric Wade Grimes, Christina M. Reed, Demetrius Willett, Shayla Blevins, Randy Glass, Alex Masters, Michael Hutchison, Mitchell Coleman, and Jeffrey Bodie. Should you know the whereabouts of these individuals or have information that might lead to their arrest, contact your local law enforcement agency or the Muskingum County Sheriff's Office. As much of the nation continues to battle rising gas prices, some Ohio officials are speaking up about Biden's plan regarding gas tax relief. This past week, President Biden called on Congress to suspend the federal government's 18.4 cents a gallon tax on gas and the 24.4 cents a gallon federal tax on diesel for 3 months. He also is asking states to suspend their taxes or provide similar relief. This election year move is causing much commotion, leading some public officials to speak out. Lieutenant Governor John Husted spoke with WHIZ about the lasting effects Ohioans are feeling, not just on gas prices, but the economy in general.
Prices at the pump are one thing, but plastics require oil. Fertilizers that we put on our farms require natural gas. They're extracted from natural gas. Diesel, which runs our trucks and fuels our supply chain, that comes from fossil fuels. So every time one of those things goes up, it increases the price of everything, from food to the products you get. It's throughout the entire supply chain.
Both Lieutenant Governor Husted and Governor DeWine have been outspoken about the current administration's policies associated with the price increase and how national efforts to reduce fossil fuel production are negatively impacting its constituents at the pump. First Baptist Church in South Zanesville and Eastside Community Ministry hosted the monthly free fresh produce market this morning. Today was the final day for the event until September. The market, which provides low-income households with a variety of fresh produce ranging from watermelons to corn. Produce Market Coordinator Linda Hollingsworth says this is an important event for the community.
It's really important to be helping people. I mean, obviously God calls us to help feed our neighbors in need, and it's just nice to make, we've built relationships with a lot of the people that have come through.
But it wasn't just produce being given away today. They also partnered with the Animal Shelter Society to give away dog and cat food as well. And while this is the last market for a few months, Hollingsworth says there are still options for those in need.
If they have food stamps, there's a possibility that they can get coupons to use at the farmers market. And I think if you're a senior citizen, I think if they check with the Senior Citizen Center, sometimes they have coupons that people, if they qualify, can use at the farmers market.
Eastside also receives donations from Mid-Ohio Food Bank once per week. However, supplies are limited, so you'll need to call and register to receive a box. The fresh free produce market will return September 23rd as well as October 28th.
A child rapist will serve life in prison without parole, plus 14 years for raping a young girl. Last month, jurors in Muskingum County convicted 31-year-old Joshua Carba on charges of rape with a sexual violent predator specification and gross sexual imposition. Carba was also convicted on 3 counts of failure to register as a sex offender. However, the defense chose to separately try those charges before Judge Mark Flegel instead of before the jury. During sentencing today, Judge Flegel told Carbot the offense he committed in West Virginia was nearly identical to his case in Ohio. The disturbing facts of both cases involved Carbot sexually preying on young children and convincing their mothers to betray their own children, siding with their abuser, and testifying against the children. Singer R. Kelly arrived in federal court Wednesday for his sentencing. Following the 6-week trial and decades of abuse allegations, the judge sentenced R. Kelly to 30 years in prison after being convicted of 9 counts of sex trafficking and racketeering in a Brooklyn court last year. The 30-year sentence for the former R&B icon is to be followed by 5 years of supervised release and a $100,000 fine. Justice Stephen Breyer will officially retire from the U.S. Supreme Court tomorrow. In a letter to President Biden today, Breyer wrote he will officially retire at noon on Thursday, hours after the court is set to release the last 2 rulings of his current term. The 83-year-old justice, appointed in 1994, announced his retirement back in January. Breyer, one of just 3 liberal justices on the court, is set to be replaced by Judge Ketanji Brown Jackson, who currently serves as the U.S. Court of Appeals for the District of Columbia Circuit. Jackson was confirmed as the next Associate Justice of the United States Supreme Court by the Senate in April. She will be sworn in soon after Breyer officially steps down. Turning now to the ripple effect of the Supreme Court's decision to overturn Roe v. Wade, abortion is now illegal in 7 states, and several other states are working to enact their own bans as the Biden administration weighs its options. NBC's Stephanie Goss has more.
Pregnant women looking to get an abortion are navigating a shifting landscape that changes day to day, sometimes hour by hour. In Texas, clinics remain open this morning after a judge temporarily blocked the state's ban, a law that could result in life in prison or a $100,000 fine for doctors who perform an abortion. 9 other states are also facing legal challenges over restrictive laws. For now, abortion bans are currently being enforced in 6 states. Meanwhile, court rulings in Tennessee and South Carolina lifted injunctions on laws that make abortions illegal after 6 weeks. In South Carolina, the governor wants more.
I look forward to the day that nobody wants an abortion in South Carolina. We won't need exceptions.
An increasingly unpredictable patchwork of laws, forcing some women to explore an option outside of clinics, the abortion pill. Plan C, which provides information about how to obtain the drugs, has seen web traffic surge from 3,500 visitors to more than 200,000 on Friday alone. While the FDA has approved a 2-pill regimen up to 10 weeks into a pregnancy, the number of providers able to prescribe the medication is limited.
Do you think the FDA needs to do more to make these pills available?
Absolutely. These pills are safe and effective. They need to be available in pharmacies in the same way that most other medications are available.
For its part, the Biden administration is vowing to act. First Lady Dr. Jill Biden urging others to keep fighting.
This decision was so unjust and so devastating, but my message is let's not give up. Let's keep working.
The ribbon was cut on a new branch of Cross Country Mortgage earlier today. After a COVID-delayed renovation, the office's location on Brandywine Boulevard are open for business. They offer a full line of services, including a variety of loans and mortgages.
A lot of remote work and a lot of Zoom appointments and phone calls, so it's good to be able to consistently get back to meeting with our clients face to face. I know a lot of people in the community like that, so we're very excited to be able to not only offer Zoom meetings now and online applications, but also give that in-person experience.
Cross Country Mortgage also offers online resources from home buying and refinancing tips to videos and articles. Cronin says his team is extremely client-oriented and they hope to help people have the best experience possible, whether they're buying a home or just taking out a loan.
We go above and beyond to give our clients an amazing experience, and we are super client focused. So from the beginning of the loan application until we get all the way to the closing, we make sure that experience goes super smooth. We make sure they close on time, and we make sure that our client has a great experience.
If you're interested in their services, you can go online to the website below, follow them on Facebook or Instagram, or call. That information can be found inside the story on the WHIZ News website.